California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Shut him down. He been trying to tell us for years what we need to do. Public Enemy been trying to tell us for years what we need to do. This ain't nothing new. Public Enemy, Chuck D, Terminator X, Flavor Flav with his crazy ass. They've been trying to tell us what we need to do, man. And it's 20, 30 years later. 30 years later, Fight the Power was the number one. 30 years ago, Fight the Power was the number one song in America. They would never let a song like that today get to number one in America, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in live right now, man. VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I am your host, VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. VJ Rightness, because I always think I am, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Shack, a.k.a. the Blue-Eyed Barkley, a.k.a. the Creamy Kobe, a.k.a. VA's Top Tall Boy, a.k.a. Mr. Never Shut Up, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Color Card, because sometimes you got to deal them shits out, and I got a deck of them. When it's time to deal them out, I am your Vegas dealer. And I'll start that with the monkey, the elephant, the rhino, whatever you want to call that shit in the room. And that was the verdict that came out, or the non-indictment that came out with Breonna Taylor's situation out in Louisville, Kentucky. Quick recap if you haven't been paying attention, or if you've been on another damn planet. Officers had the wrong house. They knocked. They break in, they don't knock. They force entry. Boyfriend is asleep, wakes up, thinks somebody's breaking in his house, grabs his registered piece, pops off. It's dark, it's in the middle of the night, you can't see. Pops off, pop, pop. It's an officer. They fire all back into the house a bunch of bullets that killed Breonna Taylor. And the emotion you seeing ain't fake. I haven't cried over something like this since Alton Sterling down in Louisiana. The guy that was selling the CDs in front of his store. In front of the guy that was allowing him to sell his CDs in front of his store. Two white cops pull up. They yell out gun in line, say he's got a gun, shoot him point blank range. I mean, the gun was touching the man and murdered him right in front of everybody. I haven't teared up since then. I remember when I put that video online of myself crying and talking about how I felt like as a black man that we're just hunted. It's the first time in my life that I felt like we were being hunted. Joy Lachey, what's going on, Mom? I appreciate you for joining in. Thank you. It was the first time I felt like we were being hunted. I know it was happening, but sometimes you have your head in the sand. You don't pay attention enough. And next thing you know, you're part of the problem. And I think that happens with everybody from time to time. This situation was just so hard because it's like you can't even be black and sleep. We know you can't be black and drive. You know you can't be black and dress nice. You can't be black and shopping with a lot of things in the mall. You can't be black and jogging. Can't be black and walking. Can't be black and cleaning your yard. Can't be black at work. Can't be black doing anything in life in America that doesn't make you look suspicious, because there are still people out there who just feel like you don't belong here. There are people that feel like we don't belong here. And this situation just hurts and is even worse because she was asleep. She didn't even stand a chance to put up her hands or to duck and dodge or try to turn her body in a way that the bullet hits a different way and doesn't kill her. And she didn't stand, Breonna Taylor didn't stand a chance in hell. She didn't stand a chance. And the fact that the attorney general down there wanted to make sure he posted his pictures of his engagement and party, and of course, the only chocolate drop in a whole gallon of milk, the only one there. It was just the whole totality of everything. It was just so hurtful from the beginning. And then the verdict comes out yesterday, and I don't want to be the cynic. I don't want to be the pessimist and not the optimist. I like to be optimistic, but at the end of the day, I realize the country I live in, anybody that listens to my podcast, any platform that I'm on, sports talk radio, whether I'm doing comedy, whether I'm doing social talk, and I say the same stuff a lot as far as my views on the world. And that's how I come up with my opinions of how I view things. I understand the country and the world that I live in. I won't be confused and I won't be tricked into thinking that I live somewhere or that I have a certain type of advantage or a certain privilege to just normal day life that I don't, or that my brother doesn't, or my dad doesn't, or my uncle doesn't, or any of my cousins, or any of my in-laws. I will not believe that we've changed that damn much. I just won't. So therefore, my opinions express that. My opinions express that in sports. My opinions express that in social justice. My opinions express that in love and relationships. It expresses that in politics. Don't try to get me to think I live somewhere where I don't. Don't try to get me to think that the country and the world has changed so much when I know it hasn't. Small little aftershock out here in LA, man. Damn, we've had a bunch of aftershocks and small earthquakes in like the last week or so, man. Yeah, earthquake out here in LA. A little small aftershock just rolled through. Damn. Rolling earthquake, rolling aftershock still. A week later after, we got hit with like a 5.0 last week. But don't try to get me to think, earthquakes, perfect example. That was a perfect segue. I kind of blew that right there, but that was a perfect segue. I understand earthquakes are a part of California. Don't get me to believe that one day they're going to go away. Don't get me to believe that one day also, too, they're going to hit so hard it's going to like break Southern California off and it's going to float out in the ocean and be an island of its own. That's not how the earth works. This isn't 2012. Great disaster movie. I actually watched it last night after Pineapple Express. I was doing some schoolwork, got into some movies that I like and that enjoy, take my mind away from things, especially with the Breonna Taylor non-indictment coming out. But I say all of that to say that I posted and I talked about how if you're expecting these cops to get any type of punishment or to be arrested for blatant murder, because that's what they would arrest a citizen for, especially a black citizen who fired into a home and struck and killed somebody who was in the bed sleeping and struck and killed her, they would be charged with murder or manslaughter. They would not be charged with wanton endangerment. I honestly thought the shit was a joke when I read it yesterday. Wanton, the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm just being a comedian and being black right now, the first thing that came to my mind was Chinese food, like wonton. You mean baton? But they shot. So they didn't throw the baton and hit her. They didn't go in there and beat her as far as we know. Wanton endangerment. It's really weird. I had to go look it up. Wanton endangerment. Oh, okay. It's normally reserved for like when you're shooting in the air, a wanton charge. You're shooting in the air New Year's Eve. You're discharging a firearm in an unresponsible manner. There's a charge for that. Okay. But endangerment means if it strikes into a house and it could have hit someone or, wanton endangerment. Okay. But you were at the wrong house. You didn't knock. You busted in. You started popping off. As far as we know, they popped off first. They coming in, guns blazing. Homie's defending his house. He's defending his castle. A king is defending. A lion's defending his turf. It's all over the world. It's all we ever see in sports and politics in the animal kingdom. The lion, the man of the house, the male, the mammal, the man, the one with the balls defends his home, defends his turf, especially when his woman and his cubs, his kids, his kittens, his puppies, whatever you want to call it, or whatever we're talking about, is in there with them. Just off of general safety. Some snakes, a lot of people are afraid of snakes. Snakes attack for two reasons. It's been documented. It's been studied. Snakes attack for two reasons. Because they're hungry or they feel threatened. That's it. Snakes just don't slither around and try to bite people and try to bite things. They just don't. They feel threatened or they're hungry. They're going for a kill. But we'll let society tell you, oh no, they're snakes. They're a snake. The Bible got everybody twisted on what a snake is. I've always learned that a snake is either hungry or threatened. That's why it bites you. It's defending itself. Humans do the same exact thing. White man shoots black man, self-defense. In Florida, the old guy that got pushed down pulls out the gun and kills the guy in front of his girlfriend and his kids. Self-defense because you got pushed down. You have to shoot. If that was another white man, he'd have never shot him. He'd have never shot him. But I put out that if people thought that this was going to be any different, and if people thought that the NBA boycott, and we'll get to that in a second, and that's where I'm taking this, and that's where I'm segueing this. If anybody thought that the 2-day boycott was going to do anything, or that it meant anything, was fooling yourselves, because for some reason, you still believe that we live in a world that we do not live in. We don't live in that world. The system has been going for 400 years. They are not going to break it down in 1 year. They're not. It's going to keep going. They'll do things and figure out ways how to appease. But the police force is going to be the police force. There's going to be no reform. And that's not being negative. I just don't believe there will be. Because why would they? You're asking an organization that has been bloody, corrupted, murderous, liars, just the worst of the worst things that you could do to another human being or do to wreck someone's life and turn someone's life around in a negative manner. It couldn't be no more clear than what a police officer can do to you. A police officer can pull you over. You could be as clean as day. You could have never committed a crime. You could be just like doing everything the right way in life. A Christian, a pastor, or whatever you think is perfect in life, or what do you think on the path of perfection or successes in life. If he wants to ruin your life and turn your entire life around that night and everybody who loves you, he can. And he won't be punished for it. That's been shown time and time again. State to state, city to city, ghetto to ghetto, hood to hood. You know, parking lot to parking lot. Like, this is what it is. You're asking the powerful, rich, racist, corrupt society to change where everything's passed down generation to generation. This stuff has been handed down. That's simple psychology. The DNA is passed down from certain people. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody's ancestor who was a big time slave master who doesn't feel like the way their ancestors felt. And today in 2020, it's been passed down. It's been chemically passed down DNA wise through the thought process, the way you view things, what you've been shown. Somebody right now that's my age, whose grandparents are still alive, who's white, remembers what it was like when there was segregated water fountains and segregated bathrooms. Whites only, colors only, segregated entrances to restaurants that wouldn't even serve you. We forget the history of this country. We want to act like these things never happened. And today, because a restaurant can't not serve you, you think that it's better for black people, or you think the world's changed. Here, take your cup of coffee. We don't care about that anymore. We've moved on to a higher rate of systemic racism towards your people. So you can have your coffee. You can eat in your restaurants. You can live in whatever neighborhood you want. But for the majority of you, we're still going to systemically push you down educational-wise, medical-wise, politics, housing, loans, food distribution. All of this is why this happened to Breonna Taylor. And why one officer was indicted on wanton endangerment. The system does not work for us. The system was not built for us. They're not going to change the system for us. I'm just a guy who just honestly fully believes that. I'm not going to be fooled until them say, you know what? We've had a good 400-year run. It's been a good ride. let's rewrite the Constitution. Let's rewrite the Bill of Rights. Let's rewrite the Declaration of Independence. Let's rewrite the laws. Oh, yeah, that hidden law that protects police officers that nobody really knows about, that's hidden so far back. It would have to go through maybe 3 or 4 years of even getting it pushed to get put on the table, to be voted on, to be changed, so that police officers lose their pension, lose all their money, lose all their credentials if they are fired for killing somebody, not even just convicted, because these guys get fired. The officers in the Breonna Taylor case got fired, but they can move to another state and apply to another jurisdiction. All it takes is one phone call from one captain to another, or one sergeant to another. They look after each other. You think just because they get released from one precinct in America, they can't go somewhere else and work? That's ridiculous if you think that. They go work at other precincts. They can still go spread their hatred and spread the systemic racism and the bloodshed just at another precinct. They don't have to put 25 years in the New York, the police department, the Boston Mass Department. They don't have to do that. They can go move down to Florida and Miami. They're corrupted as shit too. They can go join Chicago. We know about them. Or they can come join the almighty of corrupted, the LAPD. The most hated. They have a sheriff's division out here that's got a group called the Executioners. And their goal is to take out blacks and Latinos. Take out black and brown, mostly black. They got a whole tattoo. It's under investigation out here. Officers that target black. It's like they have a gang within the gang. The police is a gang. They had a gang within the gang. These are the same officers that killed Breonna Taylor, and they have no remorse. These are the same officers that probably killed Sandra Bland. Same officers that killed Laquan McDonald. Same officers that killed George Floyd, Philando Castile. I mean, guys, Tamir Rice, the list goes on and on. It's to the point now where before you make it get out, 5, 6, 7 names. Now you can name 30 guys and ladies and children who can now be named, off the top of your head from being murdered by the police. Unarmed. But the white guy who got every chance by the police officers that he killed one and shot wounded the other. The video, the dash cam came out, the body cam came out. You got to be kidding me. He asked that man to step out the car 20 times. 20 times. And never once felt like his life was threatened. And homie had a gun on him the whole time. The whole time, home had a gun on him and was ready to pop off. And was willing to do it to get away from them. And he killed one of them. He was willing to kill a cop. You got black men that are being pulled over that just want to go home. They're not even thinking about killing your ass. They truly just want to go home. They want to make it home. They have no thoughts of doing any harm to you. They much rather you just put cuffs on and take him to jail if that's what you're going to do. Just please don't kill me, officer. Never once did that white guy felt like he was going to be killed by the cops. Not once. Not once. That's why he said, I'm not getting out the car. No, I'm not getting out the car. I know my rights. He was telling him, I'm not getting out the car. They threatened to tase him like 10 times. You want me to tase you? You want me to tase you? You want me to tase you? All right, I'm going to tase him. It was so funny to watch both these cops look over the car and go, okay, in 5 seconds, if he does, I'm giving you the 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of the cars. Last time, I'm like, wow. Wow. Are you kidding me? Wow. A brother or sister would never get that opportunity, would never stand that chance. Never. Not even close. At night, on the side of the highway or side of a rural road in the dark? What? Come on, man. You got people that don't like when radio gets talk, sports talk goes this way. But we talk everything. Sports involves everything. You sorry ass people out there who don't care about the plight and what black people go through. So you want it out of sports? Then stop cheering for the black players then. Y'all about to make me cuss. You're about to make me cuss. And I'm getting so much better at that. About to make me cuss. Stop cheering for the black players. The same black players you cheer for, if he didn't play for your team and you saw him walking down the street at 6'5", 255, built, with a Scully on, a black tee, black jeans, and some wheat Timbs, you would think he was a thug, a drug dealer, or a criminal. 80% of white people would look at him and automatically draw a negative conclusion about that man. And it's happened to pro athletes who get mistaken and get jumped on by the police. We just saw it with I forget the guy's name. Guy's slipping my mind. The tennis player at the U.S. Open, the black guy who got tackled. You're looking for the wrong guy. The dude you're looking for was brown skin. That was the report. He was brown skin. That brother brother's light as me. No talking to him, no approaching him. Approach him even with your hand on your taser. Nothing. Just saw him, ran him down, tackled him into a freaking wall. This is what black people go through every day. Every day, every minute, every hour. We know that not only is it educationally stacked against us, and some people make it out and do very well for themselves. There's ways to get out. We'll get into all of that too. But I'm talking about just the system itself and how it's set up. And that's how we end up with the Breonna Taylor incident yesterday that I posted and told people, if you're expecting these officers to face any type of punishment, don't fool yourself. You still think we live in an era that we don't live in. You still think we live in a time that we don't live in. You still think that things have gotten so much better. And actually, they have really gotten worse because there's so much imagery and subliminal mind zombieing, as I call it, that they do to us. And especially in our community, in our culture, it's not even funny. There's a video surfacing right now of, I don't know the guy. I guess he's a famous rapper or a rapper. They're in Vegas. He's at his birthday dinner. He's got tats on his face. He's got this little, your typical IG kind of looking chick with her. She is wearing kind of like a bathing suit top in a restaurant. It's a shirt. I get it, but classy spot. Yeah, I mean, that's how I like my lady. I mean, you want to wear a nice little revealing dress or something cool, but like a bathing suit kind of top shirt, like, nah, we're not trying to show that representation. Not here. We could do that at other places. But not here. Let's class it up to let's show some dignity. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little dignity, a little class. It's okay. Doesn't make you a sellout or corny that has some class. A lot of people like to put the outfit on, but they don't have no class. A lot of people don't have the outfit to put on, but they have class. Then a lot of people don't have the outfit to put on. They think they don't have to have class. Those are three big differences of how we're viewed in public and in life. That does spread to other people who don't deserve that treatment. But because there's people out there who will present that, that's what we're going to get. But this video is surfacing of this guy drunk, this celebrity rapper or reality show guy drunk. You can see the look on this lady's face. She's really just about kind of had it. I understand being drunk and everything, but there are people actually like praising this. That's how you do it big. That's how you do it. It's subliminal imagery that is put into our mind. There are a lot of people I read comments on that thought there was nothing wrong with the way that he was actually representing himself and acting and his lady at the time in a restaurant. We've been kicked out of better places. It's like, bruh, we're not winning no battles like that. We're not winning no battles. The battles that we need to fight, we're not winning no battles. The battle we are winning is mismessaging when you see videos like that. It's imagery. There's a lot of imagery. And the NBA put up a lot of imagery for all of this social justiceness in this bubble. The NBA's got Black Lives Matter on the court. The NBA allowed people to put different words, but they kind of still controlled what you could put on your jersey. But they're letting you put, I've seen freedom, love us. The love us one bothers me. Real talk. Some of these messages, people, once again, imagery. Some of these shits bother me. Love us. I'm not worried about you loving us. Damn it, you ain't got to love me. Treat me with some damn human civil decency. Period. You don't have to love me. I don't love you. And that's okay. It's okay not to love somebody. It's okay not to be enamored with another nationality of their people. It's okay. But I will still treat you with some decency. I will still treat you with some respect. I will still treat you like a freaking human being. I don't think you're subhuman. I don't think you're an animal. I don't think you're a criminal. I don't know you. I don't know what the hell you do. But if we standing here right now, we talking and we cool, then what am I worried about it for? I got a family to worry about. I got kids. I got a wife. I got things to do. What am I worried about your ass for? But I will show you some respect in a public setting. Just like you're going to show me some goddamn respect in a public setting. But this fake imagery that the NBA put up and everybody fell for it in the 2-day boycott. And I know, listen, I told people that y'all are falling for this again. 2 days for what? What's going to happen? What you going to do? And now they all look like they just got egg on. I don't want to say stupid, but you just all look like they got egg on their face because they had to go to these press conferences last night, the Heat and the Celtics, after a hard fought, really, really tough game 4. Heat take the win to go up 4-1, 3-1 in that series. Got a chance to close it out tomorrow night, which I think they will. And we'll get into that a little later because I told you guys what I thought of the Heat 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, maybe 4 days ago on show before last. I told you guys what I thought of the Heat and what I thought the Heat would be and what I thought the Heat would do. But this imagery and these names and these words on the back of these jerseys, love us. I think that was on Kemba Walker's jersey last night. I almost threw up in my mouth. I don't need you to love me. I need you to give me some damn respect. Respect me like a human being. Respect me with some decency. You don't have to love me. And that goes like to anybody. Nobody's got to love VJ. Nobody's got to love VJ Vernon. I am not worried about that. I love me. I would like if my children love me and if my lady loves me and my mama, at least my mama and my grandmama. Siblings fight. Siblings don't talk. Siblings go years without speaking. And then you got siblings that spend every day together. It just depends on the kind of family you come from. You ain't got to love me. I'm over that. I'm past that. Especially in society. But you could treat me right. I saw one that said freedom. There's no freedom in this world. There's not one place that is 100% free unless you live off the grid in the jungle. That island that killed that journalist like a few years, was it last year? I think it was the last year. It showed kind of far away. Like if you come on their island, they will kill you. But they ain't got nothing America wants, so they got nothing that we want. What are we bothering them for? That's the only reason why we ain't gone over there and killed the island or blown the island up or take the island over, sent the military, sent some Navy SEALs, some Rangers, some Marine recon. It's the only reason why we ain't done it yet. They ain't got nothing America wants. But if you go there, they will kill you. It's the only place that's probably free. They don't have a law. They don't have police. They're still, but they call them bush people. I don't like that term. But they live on this island by themselves. They govern themselves. They have their own food. They fish. They grow crops. They're doing their own thing. There's not a place that's free in this world. Everybody should know that from the fact that all you do is buy bottled water. No one wants to drink faucet water anymore. Oh my God, faucet water? Yeah, faucet water. Like when we used to drink out the water hose in the front yard or the backyard or at the football field. I went to a high school in North Carolina, Union High School in Clinton, North Carolina, my junior year in 1995. We had to drink out the hose. Wasn't even no water fountains out there. Not none that worked. We had to straight up drink out the hose. That wasn't always pleasurable, but you did it. And it just was what it was. Spray the water all on your face and your head because it's hot. It's hot in North Carolina when you practicing for football in the summertime, man. It's hot. Nothing's free. There's no free place here. So freedom bothers me. Love us bothers me. How many more is the system is a strong statement. I like how many more, but it's kind of an old question still. How many more? How many more is this going to happen to? They just shot and killed a kid in D.C. They just shot and killed, LAPD shot and killed a guy out here in Los Angeles like 2 or 3 weeks ago, said he had a gun, but the report says he threw a bag and that's where they found the gun at. So if he's running from you and he throws the bag that the gun's in, why the hell did you shoot him in the back 8 times? We're seeing guys get shot in the back 7 times, point blank range. This is systematic, man. They do it right in front of your children. They don't give a... Oh, y'all about to make me cuss again. They don't care. They don't care. They're doing this right in front of your children. Jay Gilmore, what up, baby? I see you in there, man. John, I appreciate you guys. My cousin in the building. My cousin has a son who plays in a band at Jackson State where Dion just took the job. I'll have some thoughts on that in the coming weeks. I know Dion's self-serving. Him and Bomani Jones going back and forth. Of course, television loves to pit 2 black men against each other, especially sports television. Bomani Jones needs to stop being a clown, to be honest with you. And that's just my straight up opinion. I'm letting loose, man. I told you guys I'm back. I reinvented my show. I got some stripes in this industry, man. I'm not where I want to be, but that's fine. But I'm further than I was yesterday. I'm further than I was last year. I'm further than I was 2 years ago, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 years ago when I first started all of this. I'm further than I was then. So with every step I take, there's a new invention that comes with it. And right now, I'm not afraid to talk about people, not in a negative way, but just like, bro, stop being a clown. We in a black culture. Black people have a way of speaking to each other. We're allowed to do that. You're being a clown. People are going to tell you, I've been a clown in my life before, and I've had black people call me out on it. Tell me stop clowning. But some people got to be a clown to get into the circus, and a lot of people want to be in the circus. I never liked the circus. I didn't. My parents took me I went to a circus once in my life. Once. And it was some fake-ass alligator dude that was bringing alligators out of the tank of water. But these gators weren't that big. They weren't, but, you know, he was the main attraction there. But elephants all dressed up and shit with curtains on their head because they big as shit, so they ain't no regular do-rag. With curtains on and shit and making them do tricks and tigers and lions standing on balls and stuff. That's not even a real way to see an animal. That's not even a real animal. That's like a whitewashed lion out there. Ain't no lion in the jungle. Ain't no lion out in the Serengeti ever. They don't know what the fuck a ball is. They don't know they don't know what a chair is. They ain't never seen no chair, no whip. Go out. If it's so great, then won't you go out to the Serengeti and do it? That'll impress me. You want to impress me if you're a circus? Go do that shit out in the wild. Go out in the wild, find the animals, bring the crowd with you. I'll give you a week to even be around the animals. You get a week. That'll impress me. If you can get a lion that just chased down an antelope for his family and his pride, if you would get him to get on a chair and crack a whip and have him obey and have a bear, go to Alaska and find you a grizzly and have him stand on the damn orange ball with a dunce cap on. That'll impress me. You want to impress me, do that shit. I never liked the circus. But a lot of people think a lot of clowns think you got to join the circus. I guess that happens if you're a clown. But shout out to everybody right there, man. Appreciate it. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Clopex, it's CL. Some of these people with these internet names, I get it. You know, you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be different. But when you don't have a vowel, that's hard. That's hard, boo-boo. When you ain't got a vowel, C-L-T-T-O, what is it? Oh, so Clutto Phoenix? I don't know, sweetheart. I appreciate you tuning in, though. VJ's on Sportsmanlike Conduct live on Spreaker.com right now. Talked a lot about Breonna Taylor and I had to get that off my chest. Wasn't a lot of sports in there, but I had to get that off my chest because, guys, listen, ladies and gentlemen, just stop believing that we live in a country, we live in a world that we don't. And I think we'll be better prepared mentally for what we know is going to happen and what we see is going to happen. And speaking of the NBA, to keep it there, I'll come away from social justice for a little bit. I would have loved to have seen the NBA not play last night. I would have loved to see everybody walk away and not play because it's kind of what you've already done. It's kind of what you've already shown us. And you had an opportunity to do it again. And they didn't do it. They're not going to do it. I never thought it was real before. I thought it was for optics. I thought it was just because it was definitely going to look good and you're going to have a lot of warriors on your squad saying, yeah, there you go. The NBA players there, they cared. They stepped away. They walked away. They took 2 days off. They came right back. It's only down to 4 teams. So all those teams that were there are home with their families, with their ladies, with a warm body to lay next to, your little kids running around, or in your big ass mansion with all your trinkets and toys and your cars and all of that. There's only 4 teams left. A lot of those teams are gone. They're home. That happened in the first round. There was still, 16 teams? There's still 16 teams there. There's 4 left. So I thought it was easy to do it then and make it look okay, make it look like they cared, and it just looked really collaborated. It really did. From LeBron and Kawhi being the 2 that were going to walk away, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. Kawhi never says shit, so I doubt he said anything in there. And if he did, how much can you hold on to that? The man never talks. How much can you really hold on to that? Because some people heard him say it. Yeah, but people say anything. People say a lot. Oh, LeBron stood up. LeBron was going to walk away. So it's important to him. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It looks good for him to say that, but he wasn't walking away. I don't care what anybody says. He wasn't walking away. This championship this year, which they look like they might win, is the most important thing on his table other than his bloodline right now. It's not social justice. Y'all can miss me with that bullshit. It's not social justice. That's not to say he don't care. He just don't care as much right now. Because that's not servicing him. This 4th championship, 1 away from Kobe, 2 away from Mike, tied with Shaq, 1 from Duncan, 1 over Bird. Bird's only got 3, I think. 3? Does Bird got 3 championships or 4 championships? Somebody hit me up in the chat room, in the chat box, let me know. 3 or 4. I think it's 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 3. But this championship right here, where people are already calling him the GOAT, he calls himself the GOAT. People can say, oh, this is so tough because they had to play in this bubble. And I always said from the beginning when they first started talking about this, there's an asterisk beside this championship for me, simply because you got 4 months off. I don't care where they sent you. They could have sent your ass to Budapest to play. They could have sent them to Siberia to play. I don't care. I don't care at all. Where it was held, you got 4 months off. People could recover. Teams could get healthy. You got an off season off. Now, they're going to probably try to jump back into it in January. From what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, they can't roll right into October, which honestly, in my opinion, would be the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do was say, listen, just roll right into this. At least this year, think about it like this. If the NBA just said, we're going to roll right into this in the finals, soon as the finals are done, we're giving the 2 championship teams 2 weeks off, and you're going to come. Hey, listen, it's 2020, right? Everything is different this year. I know there's a lot of people that won't like that. I know there's a lot of people that be like, nah, man, you can't do that. Why not? Why not? Come on, these guys could do it. If you're LeBron, maybe you low management this year. If you're AD, you low management this year. I don't think the Heat players don't want to low management. I don't think Boston don't want to do it, but LeBron's older. AD, if they win it all, just coming off a chip, he'll be a free agent. No telling where he'll sign. But I got guys that I think are itching to get back to it. Especially if you got to the bubble and you didn't make the playoffs. You only had 18 seeding games after being off 4 months. And now you're going to be off. If you got eliminated in the first round, or if you didn't make the playoffs, then you were out in August? So you played for a month? And if August, so if they don't play until January, it's another 6 months. That's 10 out of 11 months you've been off if you're a team that didn't make the playoffs. You're asking for the league to just fall on its face next year if you wait till January. Why not roll right into it? Roll right into it. You don't think KD's itching to get ready back to play? Kyrie's itching to get back to play? Klay Thompson's itching to get back to play? Steph Curry's itching to get back to play? Russ Westbrook? Harden? Get a coach in there. Let's go. We have 4 months off. And now you're going to have another 5 or 6 months off, depending upon what team you're on? I'd roll right back into it. Keep the social justice stuff going if you want to. Put Black Lives Matter on every court in the NBA. Put it on every damn court. Shit, cut Black Lives Matter a $20 million check. Why not? You're the NBA. Your league is worth tens of billions of dollars. Billions. Billions of dollars. Shout out to my man Mason, PA guy for my Detroit Pistons. He used to say Billups for Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups won us a chip, man. They ain't got a finals MVP. What up? What up, Chance? And is being discussed for some front office positions and head coaching positions, but I think he wants to go into the front office. And he's got championship and television analytical pedigree to go with it. I like those guys in the front office. I like Mike Mayock in the front office with the Raiders. Him and John Gruden, newsflash in the NFL, guys. Him and John Gruden know what they're doing. I've been saying that. Listen, I don't just come on air and say, oh, I've been saying that. If you follow me or if you know how to log on to anything in the world and go back and listen to a show, if you really support me and you really mess with me, then you'll hear me say these things. When they traded Khalil Mack, I told every Raider fan, started with right now. I told every Raider fan, relax. Relax. I know he's a beast. I know he's a great player. I know you're going to miss him. I know this hurts. I know it looks a certain way, or I know it looks bad. I get all of that. But your defense was 26th and 27th ranked in the league the last few years with him. Why not move on, clear some money, let somebody else give him a huge contract somewhere. Let's get 2 first-round picks for him and bring in some younger players that's not going to cost nearly as much as him, at least for the next 3 to 4 seasons. And we'll do the same thing with Amari Cooper. We'll trade him 2 first rounds or a first-round pick for Amari. So now you have 5 over a 2-3 year span of first-round picks. There are teams that only got 2 first-round picks over the next 2 to 3 drafts. Oakland and Miami, Vegas and Miami, that's going to be hard to remember. Vegas and Miami are sitting there with 5 over the next 2 drafts. And still doing work. Still looking for moves. Still looking for things to do. Still looking for changes to make. Another top flight player, great player, don't want to be here. No problem. Here you go. We'll take a first for him. You guys think you're right on the cusp? They get him to Chicago? Chicago is 2-0 right now, but we don't know how long that's going to last with Mitch Trubisky. Keep an eye on who finishes with a better season this year. If you look at Dallas, that's where Amari Cooper is. Amari Cooper got his money from Dallas, but let's see where Vegas and Dallas is at the end of this year. It's like Tom Brady and Belichick, right? Let's see where the Patriots and Tampa, and I'm telling you, it's still early, but I don't like what I see out of Tampa. I just don't. And I like Tom Brady, but I don't like what I see out of Tampa. I know it's early, but I do not like what I see coming out of the Bay and Florida. Guys already hurt. Gronk is going to be, I just think, the missing link. I just don't see how you could come on. Maybe when he left, it left him. Sometimes that's how life happens. When you leave something that you had a love and you had a passion for, it leaves you too. And when you try to go back to it, it's not there. It's like an old girlfriend or an old boyfriend. You break up with somebody, right? Everybody's done this. I think everybody's been through this. Everybody's done this. You break up with somebody. You go on with your life. They go on with their life. You realize it might have been better with them, or you missed them and you want to be back with them, whatever the case is. You go back, but they're not. They've left you too. You didn't just leave them. They left you too. I am so sorry. That ain't supposed to happen. I guess my phone actually hit something here on my computer. My apologies. You want to try a spicy chicken sandwich? No, I don't want your damn spicy chicken sandwich. Jack in the Crack. That's what they call Jack in the Box out here. I didn't say that, Jack, just in case y'all want to give me sponsorship one day. I'm just telling you what people call it out here. I honestly haven't really had Jack in the Box out here in Los Angeles. But the NBA should roll right into its next season. Don't even wait. Roll into the right season, next season. And I like what I see going on in these conference finals, too. I really, really, Really do. Lakers should be down 2-1. Everybody knows it, but you sound like a hater if you say it. Boston might have already been out of this series. This might have been a sweep. Miami is that good. And I said 3 shows ago how good I thought Miami was and how this is all just attributed to Pat Riley. It starts at the top. Anything starts at the top. Pat Riley has done his damn thing. There are a lot of teams that could have had Tyler Hero. There are a lot of teams that drafted Tyler Hero. Other than Zion and Morant, all right, you got those two. Anybody else, rookie this year, having a better season and a better playoffs than Tyler Hero. The guy can't even buy a drink legally yet. 21 years, not even 21 years old, 20. Drops 37 last night. Rebounds well for a guard. And when he said he was leaving Kentucky, a lot of people were like, he's leaving Kentucky? That white guy, that white kid, 1 year, he's leaving Kentucky? Okay. He could play. He was at all the top camps in high school with all the other high school great players. ABDC camp, the Nike camp, the Jordan camp. There's always the Jordan camp, a Durant camp. They have all these different camps that all these kids go to. He was at all of them with all the top kids. And then he was recruited by John Calipari to go play at Kentucky. He didn't play at Southwest Louisiana State. They never would have had a shot at signing him. Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, Ohio State, UConn, Washington, Texas, those schools, yeah, they were all after him. Florida, Louisville, they were all after Tyler Hero. And I talked about this the other day, how you have just got to just tip your hat to what is going on with the Miami Heat and what Pat Riley has been able to do with this team and how he's constructed it and how they've cleared money and how they found this talent. And he's just so smart. Spoelstra, to have Spoelstra as his coach, it keeps Spoelstra there. Even when you had a megastar like LeBron James who wanted him fired and gone, Pat Riley looked him right in the face and said, listen, we appreciate the 2 championships, but we helped you get 2 championships at the end of the day. You didn't get them by yourself, and we still have those championship banners hanging, just like you're still going to have your rings. I'm not firing Eric Spoelstra. Basically, that's what it came down to. I'm not firing Eric Spoelstra. Simple as that. What a move that looks like today. How many coaches do you think they would have gone through if they fired Eric Spoelstra? How many would they already been through by now? If they decided to succumb to the pressure of a superstar saying, I don't want to play for that guy. Right? We've seen it. We've seen it so many times in sports. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. The last time Pat Riley had to make a choice like that, he had to come down and coach himself. But you were coaching Wade and Shaq on Shaq's last legs to win a championship that they had never won before. So he figured, okay, I better do this. They want me to come down and hell, I could go get ring number 6 as a coach. I already have, number 5, because he had 4 with the Lakers. I could come down and get ring number 5 myself. Why not? Miami deserves a championship. Dolphins aren't going to get one. The Hurricanes had some, but, they bought all those when they buy and play, but everybody buys players, so I get it. But they're not the program they were. The Florida Panthers, the Marlins. What else is here? We might as well be the talk of the town. Let's go ahead and get a championship for the Heat. And that's what they did. And then you bring in LeBron and you bring in Bosh and you put him with Wade and you sign Peyton and White Chocolate and you got Birdman and you bring in Battier, you bring in Mike Miller and you put that team together and you go win 2 more championships. And then this year you put this team together with Jimmy Butler and Hero and Dragic and Jimmy Butler, Dragic, Hero, Bam Adebayo. I mean, you got these guys. And I haven't seen any injury update on him. I know he was holding that arm late into that game last night that they won against Boston. And once again, Boston gives up a game. Boston should win that game. Boston gives up a game. But I like what the Heat are doing. I like what the Heat have going. And I'm telling you all, you gotta stay up on this. My man Vince right in the building from Minneapolis. What's going on, my brother? Send help from my Vikings and take Cousins, please. Hey, man, listen, I said last week or on my Monday morning quarterback show this week, I have no idea. I have no words for the Vikings. I have no idea what's going on. I can't figure it out. I have no idea what's going on with the Vikings, Vince. I cannot figure it out. You have your, and listen, the low hanging fruit is they don't have Stephon Diggs, but that might be true, bro. Diggs might have been that big of a piece and just wasn't appreciated. I think Jefferson's going to be good from LSU, but Cousins, I don't hate Cousins as much as everybody else does, but I see why people don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that kind of guy when it comes to Cousins. You gave Cook his money. You retooled the secondary. So the secondary is really young. If I'm not mistaken, everybody's under the age of 25, I believe it is, under 23, something ridiculous like that, like the Dolphins secondary, where everybody's under like 24 years old. It's a very young secondary. Yeah, I mean, linebacking crew there, I think you guys just lost Anthony Barr, if I'm not mistaken. He's hurt. D-line is still dominant, but D-line can only take you so far. Ask the Detroit Lions when they had Ndamukong Suh. Great D-line. How far can a D-line take you? Still got to have linebackers. Still got guys that can rush the passer. You got guys that can cover for more than 3 seconds. And you still got to be able to score points. So I'm just not. Yeah, you agree with me. He started when he let Diggs go. Everybody that's live listening on Spreaker.com, I'm sorry, I'm reading these comments, and I know it sounds a little off when you're talking about radio, but when I'm live on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, if people post comments, I do read and respond. 4 different platforms that I'm on, well, 3 today. So Facebook Live on my Vesson Sports page, IG Live on my Big Vanilla Funny page, and then also my Vesson Sports Network on Spreaker.com. My man Michael White is tuning in and listening right now. What's going on, Mike? This is my guy right here. Michael White and I go all the way back to 6th grade, I believe it is. I thought I could draw until I met Michael White. There's always an event in your life where you think you the shit at something, and somebody else comes along and they be like, word, that's your joint right there? That's cute. Cute, nigga, what? Hold up. This is a dope picture of the Miami Hurricane mascot. You remember that, Mike White? We used to draw college mascots. The Hurricane, he's an Irish fan, so he used to be able to draw the Leprechaun. And we used to draw the Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff that was hot back in the day. All that stuff that was fresh and hot back in the day, we used to draw. I thought I could draw until I sat next to Mike White. I want to say Miss Marks is art class. Miss Marks, if you remember her name. Yeah, I thought I could draw until I sat next to Mike White. That's my guy. So he's in the building. Read some of his comments here. He says, 8th grade art class. Oh, 8th grade art class. There we go. 8th grade art class. He says he's the shit. Yeah, okay. I thought the NBA championship would try to regulate a championship with, rig a championship with Boston and the Lakers. Yeah. But I'm with you. I can see Miami giving LA issues, he says. And do you see Miami can run the table? Nah, listen, man. Like I said, I said the other day, I thought this was just a great story with the Miami Heat. I really do. This is just amazing at what they've done and what they've been able to accomplish and what the team they have and what they've been kind of up against, right? You almost sweep out the Greek Freak. Now, I never was sold on Milwaukee. I had Rob Parker on about 3 weeks ago in the playoffs. I think it was the day after they lost their game against Orlando and the Lakers lost their game to Portland. I had Rob Parker on from The Odd Couple on Fox Sports 1. Also, check out his new podcast, Inside the Parker. Yeah, Inside the Parker, which is a baseball term reference because it's a baseball podcast. But I literally thought that the Bucks were in trouble. I didn't think they were going to lose to Orlando, but I thought they were in trouble. And I just never felt them last year. Don't feel them this year. So I picked Boston originally to come out of the East. I thought Boston healthy had the best team. I did not see Miami coming, and a lot of people didn't see Miami coming. I don't think Miami saw Miami coming. But Jimmy Butler, I think if there's one guy that saw this could happen, was Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler, if you remember the quote, this is a business trip. No family's coming down there to meet him. And they're showing videos of people's kids showing up. Hey, listen, Fred VanVleet, daughter showed up, which was beautiful. It was gorgeous. he never played that well again. Jason Tatum had a great third quarter, but since Deuces showed up, I just think it softens you. And not a bad way. You miss your family. They've been away for 2 months. Some of these guys, 3 months. I get it. So I'm not going to knock on that. It's not where I'm going with this. But I do believe that it kind of takes your it takes like that edge away. Just something, just a chemical balance or imbalance inside of you. Something, a neuron or a neutron. It just, something relaxes. And I think, that it can translate to the court. And I think that it has for certain players. Jimmy Butler said no family, no girl. This is a business trip. And I think Jimmy might have been one of the guys you could say saw that this was possible. Now, was it going to happen? I don't know if Jimmy knew that. But I think they finished Boston off tomorrow night. I just really do. Boston bigs, Tice hasn't played as well as I think he should have. And I think that's where the difference has been. And Tatum, he had 28 in the second half last night. So I'm not going to knock Tatum's game. They had a chance to win that game. They were in that game. They had the lead. They had a chance to win that game. But I'm trying to figure out what else do they need? Hayward's back. Hayward's playing okay. He's playing well. He's playing good, I think. But you can't look at Smart. Smart's playing really well. You can't look at Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's playing really well. Tatum's playing really well. Maybe you give maybe a little more Enes Kanter. They used the one game Enes Kanter had like 4 points in like the first quarter. Or in the second quarter they brought him in and had like 4 points, 8 points in like a 4-minute span. Which is kind of going off. Hasn't played since. Is this Coach Stevens' fault? Is he not coaching this? Is he not coaching this game correctly? I see I have 15 seconds over here on Facebook Live, so I just want to tell everybody over here on Facebook Live, thank you very much for tuning in, VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct. Please share this and pass this around in your story. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all take care, man. Appreciate you, IG. And we're gonna wrap up here in a short period of time. Anyway, I'm not gonna log on. I'm not gonna not log on. I'm sorry. I'm reading my phone. I'm reading my phone over here, and my phone is tripping. So, for my IG Live, appreciate you guys. IG Live still live over here on Spreaker.com and on Facebook on Investing Sports Network page. But you'd be hard pressed to find a team that's playing as hard as Miami right now. And I think Boston's playing hard. They're just not playing as hard as Miami. And the Denver Lakers series, they go at it tonight. I believe that game's tonight, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Lakers, and check my app here real quick. I do believe that game is, yes, that's on TNT tonight. Nuggets got a chance to tie it up at 2. It should be 2-1 Nuggets. Anthony Davis hits a great shot at the end of game 2. So I listen, I get it. Sometimes that's why you take jump. That's why you shoot. That's why you shoot, because sometimes it goes in. And that one went in. So I can't even be mad at the Lakers for pulling that out. They did exactly what they needed to do. They needed to win. They needed a guy to hit a shot to not have that series tied up at 1. And it looked like the momentum the other night, they got beat thoroughly because it looks like they took the momentum, the Nuggets that is, from game 2 and carried it over to game 3. I think that possibly can happen tonight. They've got to get this game tonight. They can't go down 3-1 again. Or can they? Right? I don't think they can. I don't think that they want to. I don't think that they can. I don't think that they want to. You don't want to go down 3-1. You don't want to go down 3-1 again. You've already done it twice, and I think the Lakers are too good to let you win 3 in a row to win that series. They tie this thing up at 2 tonight, it's a series. And they're not going away. That's the thing about the Nuggets. The Nuggets are not going away. This is a really, really good basketball team. They play hard. They play for one another. They're not worried about the glitz and the glamour and all the pretty shit that comes along with winning sometimes. They just want to get it done. Their bench played well the other night. You have some players really step up in big moments. And Joker, I don't even think we've seen his best game. And I'm telling you guys, and I've been saying this since February, If you could get the big guys in foul trouble, Dwight was in foul trouble the other night, JaVale McGee didn't play so much, and if they ever just have off shooting nights like they had the other night, nothing from KCP, nothing from Danny Green, nothing from Caruso. Listen, Caruso's a nice little hustle guy. He reminds me of Deladova. Was that his name? Matthew they call him Deli. He was with the Cavs one year when the Cavs made it to the finals with LeBron. Matthew Deladova, I believe, was the guy name. He reminds me of him. Because who you play with, more people will see you and hype you up. If you played on any other team in the NBA, if you played on like a mid-level team, we would never know who he was. So he's going to have nights like he had the other night where he just didn't really produce a lot. He didn't really give you a lot. You're going to have nights like that with him. And the Lakers, when they don't shoot it well, they have a hard time scoring. Anthony Davis only gets 1 rebound and up into the fourth quarter has 0 rebounds. Got ended up with 2 rebounds or 3 rebounds. No, you got to be on the glass a whole lot more. I expect them to tonight, but I also expect Denver to feel like that they found something with the high pick and roll with Joker, and they trust their bench. I don't know if the Lakers trust their bench. They just know some nights they can front run, and when they're up double digits and the bench is hitting some shots and it looks good, they can yell and scream. But the other night, that bench was silent as hell because they just knew they didn't have it. But I think there's a piece of some players on that team that thinks, all right, yeah, because we almost blew game 2, and they beat us handily in game 3. This team's for real. How are they going to react tonight? How are the bench players, as Shaq say, the others, gotta have the others, gotta have D. Scott, gotta have B. Shaw, Robert Ory, those guys, Fred Fox, most handsome man on the planet. Gotta have guys like that to, dive on the floor, get loose balls, rebound. Get offensive boys to give you second shots. So me and Kobe can go do our thing, and we can win championships just like we did. I got 4 of them. I did it 4 times, 3 times Finals MVP. Can you dig it? Love Shaq on TV. I do love Shaq. But you don't have that. Yeah, if you have that size on the floor with Howard and with JaVale McGee, you get them in foul trouble. Joker could play as well as he played the other night. I don't even think we've had a great game from Murray just yet. Like, we haven't had that Murray explosion. Tonight could be the Murray explosion. Tonight could be like the poof, pow Murray explosion. Could be. We don't know, but could be. Could be the Murray explosion tonight. We'll see. I'll put a pick out there. We'll talk about the Dolphins, and I'm getting off the air real quick. I'll see you guys Saturday or Sunday, because I'm going to do a full, my weekly picks. I'm back 18-13 after a 7-9 week, bounce back big time to pull my record to 18-13. See if I can finish all picks going with the odds all season long, and see if I can earn and keep my nickname, Mr. 8515, the Big Vanilla 8515. Because I've been off the last few years, got to get it back. And we'll talk some fantasy also too this weekend. So I'll take the Nuggets tonight. What's the spread? Let me see what the odds are tonight. We'll check the odds real quick. We'll jump over to the Dolphins game real fast. We'll talk about those odds. It's Lakers 6.5. Yeah, I'll take the Nuggets. And the Nuggets don't have I can say I'll take the Nuggets, give me the point. So I can even take the Nuggets losing, but they won't lose by more than 7 points. So I'll take the Nuggets tonight. Caesars has the Nuggets at 6. DraftKings have them at 6. Westgate has them at 6.5. William Hill has them at 6.5. So I'll take the 6. I'm going to go with Caesars tonight. And tomorrow night, they already have Boston Boston's the favor at 3.5. I would definitely take the Heat tomorrow night. I'm gonna take the Heat tomorrow night anyway. I just think that they're that good. And the Heat are going to the NBA Finals. All right, so we'll wrap up and finish up with tonight's game about the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday Night Football. I am not going to be that guy this year to be openly optimistic about my Dolphins. I think they're a 6-win team, 5-win team. It's still a rebuilding, guys. I know they finished last year strong, but they did bring in a lot of new pieces this year. And that's not excuses. That's just the facts. They brought in a lot of new pieces this year, and they still have to work these pieces in during this rebuild that they're going through right now. So it's not going to turn around so quickly for Miami. They still have to figure out who the second receiver is. Offensive line plays pretty well. They got to figure out whether Breida, or Howard's the running back. I think Breida's the running back. He's showing he's the running back. Howard's your bell cow guy. Howard, listen, Howard, if you're so great, Chicago would have kept him. If you're so great, Philly would have kept him, okay? I understand Miami brought him in, but on the defensive side, they did bring in a lot of talent, but they still have to learn how to play together, learn the scheme. Wasn't no preseason. And when you bring in a lot of new players, that is going to affect how, guys play together, especially on the defensive end of the ball, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I expect them to get better, hopefully, and praying that they'll get better as time goes on. And, real talk, we'll see. But I like Jacksonville tonight. I'll take Jacksonville. Jacksonville's with the 3 points. I think Jacksonville probably wins by 4. They're at home. I said 2 weeks ago on my initial season kickoff Sunday opening show that I thought that they were going to surprise some teams this year, surprise a lot of fans this year. And that wasn't like 11-5, 10-6. I just maybe 9-7. And people don't expect them to be a 500 team. People thought they were going to be tanking for Trevor Lawrence. And it looks like Miami or the Jets might end up with the number 1 pick and have a shot at Trevor Lawrence. But you already have Sam Darnold and you already have Tua Tagovailoa that you've already put the future in Miami. Very interesting dynamic can happen this year if both teams in the AFC East just play horrible and bad. And you also have Detroit. You have Minnesota. You have Philly. You have some teams that could be really bad this year, guys, that people didn't expect. I didn't think Jacksonville was one of them. Jacksonville showed it with a home win in week 1 against the Colts. The Colts came in there, and I told people, you better watch this Jacksonville team. They got guys that want to play. They got rid of the headaches in the locker room. They got rid of the me guys. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you got to get rid of the headaches. Sometimes you got to get rid of the me guy. So I'll take Jacksonville tonight. Like the way their team is built. Miami, they're not going to win until they play Tua. If Tua's healthy, play him. I'm sick of this. If Tua's healthy, play him. You got to play Tua if he's healthy. Why not? You drafted him. If he's cleared in the hip, listen, you're not going to know until he gets tackled. You're not going to know. You got to play him. Fitzmagic is gone. That Fitzpatrick shit's over. He's a great veteran backup to have in case Tua does get hurt. But we got to find out now. This ain't waiting. Listen, Tyrod Taylor, prayers to you, punctured lung. Doctor tried to insert a pain and killer injection into the ribs, punctured his lung. But Herbert should have been the starter anyway. When I saw Tyrod Taylor starting 2 weeks ago, week 1 against the Bengals, I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Why you take a quarterback at number 6? That I saw play with my own eyes up at Alta Stadium in Oregon with my own eyes in person. I saw the guy. He could play. Starts last week. Can he play, guys? Yes. He could play. You got a nice, listen, the Tyrod Taylor shit's over. But you do got a nice veteran. You got a great veteran that you could bring in case things go sour, in case things go south. You got a good veteran to bring in. Be happy. There's a lot of people that don't have that. But you don't play him and you got the rookie sitting. Top 10, top 12 picks, they play. If I'm a GM, I draft you in the top 6 or 7 picks as a quarterback. You play. That's too high to take a guy to sit him on the bench. Play him. He's got to learn by fire. You got to throw him into the fire, man. Practice and all that shit, that don't cut it. So I'll take Jacksonville tonight because the Dolphins still are trying to get their shit together. And I think we lose maybe 2 or 3 more games in a row, 4 games in a row, before we decide to play Tua. 1-5. Oh, let's get the rook in. 1-5. You might lose a tackle by then. You might have some injuries. But put them in, man. Kyler Murray last year started from the jump. That's why you take these guys. Stop it. VJ's the Sportsmanlike Conduct, man, on Spreaker.com. I appreciate everybody listening in today. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the Dolphins. I'll take the Jags with the 5. I'm also going to take Denver with the 3.5. Appreciate everybody joining in on Facebook Live. Thank you very much, guys. Everybody on my IG. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. Maybe Saturday or Sunday. I'll come back on live on Spreaker and iHeartRadio and on all the other platforms, IG and Facebook Live. We'll do all of our picks. We'll recap these games over the next year. I'll come back Saturday or Sunday. That way, the Lakers series is either going to be 2-2 or 3-1, and the Boston series and the Heat series is either going to be 3-2 or that series is going to be over, and the Heat are going to be into the finals waiting on the Western Conference to finish up. So Saturday, and we'll talk college football. College football's back, people. We'll get more into it, man. Appreciate you guys. Everybody that's been listening, man. VJ Vernon Husky, the big vanilla funny, the big Madden, Mr. 8515, man. Spreaker.com. Y'all stay blessed. I'll holler.